This storm will kill you.
Look! I'm telling you! You know what I mean,
But
folks?
if rich people aren't looking out for us, who is?
It makes no difference which one of us you vote for. Either way, your planet is doomed.
You're listening to the Our Take Podcast with Brian Sherman.
He had a full head, all the way till the end. It was white, and I was hoping to get that. I was hoping to get, like, the full head, and it was really hard to cut it off.
And Spencer Rogers.
To be a good pilot, you have to be able to make good decisions. And I know what my credit score is, so I know I don't make good decisions.
This is the Our Take Podcast.
From Scary Parrot Media Studios in Ogden, Utah, it's the Our Take Podcast, episode 130. I'm Brian.
I'm Spencer.
Welcome to the show, everybody. It is July the 9th. On this day in history, in 1985, the Greenpeace ship Rainbow Warrior sinks.
I'd like to think I had something to do with that. That's the year I was born.
The ship was in harbor in New Zealand when it was bombed and sunk.
By the Japanese?
No, killing Fernando Pereira, a photographer who was aboard the ship. It was found out later that French government operatives were responsible for the incident. Right? You just made a face. You made a face because I was like, what the fuck as well? Here we go. Operation Satanic? Is that what they really called it? Let's see. Greenpeace was about to go protest a nuclear test by France. So France sent agents to New Zealand to bomb this ship. France, being an ally of New Zealand, initially denied involvement and joined in condemning what it described a terrorist act.
Oh, we had nothing to do with that. Oh, shit.
After the bombing, the New Zealand police started one of the country's largest police investigations. They identified two of the French agents, Captain Dominique Preur and Commander Alan...
No.
Alan Maffart? Maffart? I like Maffart better. Preur and Maffart were identified with the help of a neighborhood watch group and arrested.
Hey, those, I can't do New Zealand. Those
French assholes.
what the,
That's like something.
what the hell was that?
I don't know, man. I gotta get
Mate, those assholes, no, that's not it either.
I can't
man.
do it. I gotta get.
Weird.
I have to like practice and then
Yeah.
start.
Yeah. I
But
can do an American accent.
Just do it in American then.
I don't know. It's not the same.
We didn't bomb your ship.
What the fuck are you talking about? Oh, mate, you did it. Fuck you.
Fuck you. Those are terrorists. Anyway, what else happened? Hey, speaking of Auckland, New Zealand, in 1967, New Zealand adopted a new currency. The New Zealand pound was replaced by the New Zealand dollar.
Yeah, all the cool countries have dollars.
Yeah.
America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand.
Yeah.
And I think that's it.
The Bahamas.
Oh, yeah. Puerto Rico.
When do you think the world's first communication satellite was launched that broadcast live television images? It was known as Telstar.
I don't know, 1969.
62. I think you should make a shirt that says Telstar.
Telstar?
That's what it was called.
Is that the
It was the name of the satellite.
was it like a military one?
No, it was
or-
a collab between the U.S. and U.K. and France. Transmitted the first live TV images in the world.
Ew, it looks like a Star Wars robot. It doesn't look real.
Telstar?
Yeah, it looks like something off of 2001: A Space Odyssey.
How come it pulled up a song, The Tornadoes?
Yeah, I know.
by
You
Telstar?
gotta type in satellite. I don't know why it pulled up a song that was super weird.
I guess it was a big.
I thought it was R2D2 at
It
first.
looks like it kind of reminds me of the drones on Hoth.
Yeah.
They don't have it doesn't show the little legs. Hey, by the way, I didn't say this. You can find us at the Our Take Pod on TikTok and Instagram, or the OurTakePodcast.com, where you can get officially licensed product that I'm wearing.
Yeah, I
here.
saw you wearing that, and I thought it was some cool new brand, but apparently you made that somehow.
It's our cool brand.
What?
Starting it now.
I forget what it stands for.
It's an SBNF hat.
which I thought was a railroad. San Bernardino North Francisco.
I have
North Fe, Santa Fe.
some old friends on the drumline to thank for this.
Oh.
SBNF. I think it was the drumline. I can't remember. It's Shitballs and Fuck. And I thought that it would make a cool brand. So you can go to theourtakepodcast.com and get your own SBNF hat right now, or shirt.
Or shirt.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll do something with it. I don't know.
I think you should.
I don't know.
I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think it's a cool brand.
Can I put it on a train?
Absolutely.
Actually, that's kind of a good idea.
Anything with this is a good idea.
I like trains.
Shitballs and Fuck.
I've been swearing a lot lately. Like, it's been
Well,
weird.
it's a
the
Bad time
first
to start a new brand.
the first few seasons seasons.
We are definitely in season 4 now
Yeah.
of the show.
Well, there used to be 25 episodes in a season for most series.
For
So we're
TV
like,
shows.
yeah. So we're like on season 5, maybe even 6.
We should. I mean,
Which really,
technically, you
if you-
changed the intro music
That's true.
like 50 episodes ago
I
or
mean,
something.
if we're years, we're doing, and 7 seasons is a pretty good run. So if we can get there, then
So what is that? 140-ish? No, it's 100 and
we need to get to Simpsons status, which is like 700 something.
cops.
No,
Except not get canceled.
Simpsons is the longest
It's
running.
true.
Simpsons beat out Gunsmoke, which I think they just made like episodes every day for that show or something. I don't know.
Gunsmoke?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it wasn't even on that long.
Anyway, yeah. Get your own SBNF exclusive The Our Take Podcast hat.
Speaking of balls, so we've had a busy week, right? So
Kind of.
It's Saturday, isn't it?
Yes.
So at the beginning of this week, well, I had a family reunion at the end of last week, which was a whole thing. But
Right.
then on Monday, a lot of people don't know this, but it was the 4th of July, and also your birthday.
It's my birthday.
Some people don't know that you share a birthday with Hitler,
Hitler
Vladimir Putin. Yeah, all oddly enough born on July 4th.
and George W. Bush.
Yeah. No, I don't know who else would, but yeah. So we kind of hung out on your birthday. We
Yep.
went to a terrible parade, and then I watched news of another terrible parade.
That was a rough day. Rough day.
Lots of bad parade action.
Yeah.
People not making it through the parades.
Time to just cancel parades. They're,
yeah.
they're really not
I
that.
guess. Well, at this point, we just need to cancel everything apparently because we can't go.
America
anywhere
can't celebrate without some shit
without
happening.
gunfire. So
Yeah,
'Cause-
you were telling me about the
I know.
people were
There's-
celebratory gunfire.
Yeah, I haven't. I gotta Google it, but there was at least some injuries and 1 death from celebratory gunfire, which in a developed country like the U.S.
Yeah, like
shouldn't be a thing.
it just. Here's the problem:
You know what countries
getting-
do that? Americans.
all the ones we're at war with.
Y-
the fuck Biden flags and the Trump flags and the thin blue line flags on the backs of trucks, and now celebratory gunfire, and some like the Patriot Front wearing masks and sunglasses.
yeah.
It is so close to ISIS.
Right.
Like all that needs to happen is they need to be driving shitty Toyota and Nissan trucks.
This happened in Oakland. So 6 people reported injuries from celebratory gunfire after the 4th of July Oakland A's game versus the Blue Jays. You know, the Canadians are just like, what the hell?
Well, why do they have to make it like after the game? It's not like people had guns at the game. I mean,
Yeah,
they
I
could
don't know.
have, but it's
Well,
not like
it's,
they're
it's
sitting in the-
Oakland, so I mean,
They're sitting in the bleachers.
they're in the
like,
parking lot in wait.
Yeah. And that's a walk-off.
And I heard on the news that somebody got killed from celebratory gunfire.
Was this one that you were telling me was over a lake, though?
Yeah. I'd have to see if that
People
one
forget
even.
how far bullets travel, especially if you shoot them at an upward angle.
I can't. Oh, there it is. It's in Akron. Chelsea Jones, 26, from Akron, died from injuries after a bullet came through her front window and hit her in the head.
Oh, she wasn't even outside?
No, it came
Holy
through the window.
shit.
But it was Akron, so maybe it was just.
Man,
a drive-by celebratory.
jeez. I was reading like the arc of a bullet. I was reading like about a sniper.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was just like did you know this interesting fact? And it was like if you were a half mile away
Mm-hmm.
and you were looking at someone through a window in a little hut,
Mm-hmm.
you would have to, the bullet would actually have to go over the hut.
Well, yeah, you have to do the Coriolis effect, and there's
Well,
all the
just the arc. You have to deal with gravity.
right.
This is really interesting.
Yeah,
You know,
the
You could
those
hit someone
long-range
behind them.
snipers, you gotta
Yeah.
have like a spotter and make actual calculations and
Yeah.
stuff.
do some math.
It's not quite as simple as Call of Duty makes it seem. So
Yeah.
yeah, this one
It's
they
kind of
said
a-
so they haven't completely confirmed that it was celebratory gunfire, but they found she was shot by 9mm, and they found casings on a boat dock across the lake from where she lives of a 9mm. So
Well, they should be able to run some ballistics then.
it's a crazy coincidence, though.
That's
Although,
awful.
as I've stated before, I have shot a clay pigeon with a 9mm before. So I mean,
That's pretty good. I mean, can you imagine though, like you're on the lake, you've been drinking a little bit,
right?
you put like some cans out, you know, you shoot the cans, you go home, and then on the news, woman dies.
Oh, that
There's no way that was us.
that couldn't
right?
have been us,
That wa-
right?
that wasn't us,
This
right?
is like,
Did we pick up our
"Do you get
casings?
casings?"
Damn it, we never pick up our casings.
And that's why you should always pick up your casings.
It's terrible, man.
You gotta shoot into the mountain. What kind of a jackass shoots
I don't know.
out in the open towards anything?
Well, it's kind of hard because that was definitely. I mean, I guess it's not celebratory. Like he wasn't shooting it straight up
No,
because MythBusters
I mean,
debunked that
right?
a bullet stops its ballistic spin and
Yeah, I'm not sure how these people got
could get-
injured in Oakland unless it just fell and
I think it-
shattered.
right.
I mean,
think you
the
could
if
get
it was
hurt.
inside the Coliseum, that thing's falling apart. So the cement's probably very loose. And it
I
just-
mean, I think you could still get hurt by a falling bullet,
right,
but it's not going to be ballistic spin all the way up and then back down.
right.
But shooting across a lake, you were probably doing like trying to hit a buoy or something. You know, set up those cans on the boat.
Speaking of dumbassery, have you seen these two fires that we have in southern Utah in Fillmore?
There's one right here.
But
So
Tooele,
Fillmore-
but the one in Fillmore was a field and then a tire fire, and they were arson.
Someone lit a tire fire.
Well, it's a tire recycling.
Oh, so someone went into the tire recycling place, started the tires on fire,
Yeah,
and it started a wildfire.
yeah, it won't go out. Let's see, it's in Fillmore, which is right next to Beaver. In addition to two wildfires that have forced evacuations in Millard County, a tire shredding plant, like the one you
Yeah, they make the
Yeah.
mulch.
it has also caught fire, and they're having to drop foam and stuff on it because it's you've
So did
seen
the-
The Simpsons.
But did the wildfire start?
No,
the tire
no, the
fire?
guy lit both apparently,
Wow,
and he's on the run.
on the lam.
Stupid man.
Yeah, there's one in
People-
Tooele that's moving its way to Salt Lake, and there's one in Cache Valley too, up Sardine Canyon.
People
Three wildfires in Utah right now.
People
at
are
least.
too stupid for, I don't know. It's getting crazy the amount of maybe we just see it and people have always been this stupid, but
There's something to say about that. The ubiquity of news.
right,
Is that a word?
yeah.
Ubiquitousness.
I don't know what it means, but it sounded right.
If something is ubiquitous, it's everywhere,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like it's just the news is everywhere. It's instant.
Well, I was listening to a comedian and he said back in the day there were stupid people,
Yeah, I saw that guy.
but we didn't. They just blended in because there were no other.
And if
there
they
wasn't
said
social
something,
media.
if they had an idea,
Then
people around him be
The
like,
smart
you're,
people are like
you're an idiot.
that's stupid. But now they can get on social media and people are
Right.
like, yeah,
right.
the Earth is flat,
Yeah, the Earth is flat,
and they have their whole communities, which
Let's-
wasn't possible.
let's fly to Washington D.C. and try and overthrow the government. Yeah, the dumb people can collaborate now.
How? But after Trump did so much for them, he was their savior, which is
Oh, man.
why I think
Please don't run.
we should nail him to a cross.
Yes, you should.
Anyway, all right, I'm off topic here.
That's all
Speaking of, I don't know. Anyway, we had a busy week.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we had that on Monday. Tuesday we jammed. Wednesday, we didn't do anything. But Thursday we went to see Thor.
Mm-hmm.
I won't give you any spoilers, but I liked it.
Oh yeah.
a
Just
lot.
do a brief review.
And
It was definitely good.
there was a part in there that made me cry laugh.
Yeah, it was silly. All three of us.
Into
were-
the next day.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was actually that funny or it's something that would happen in like a Rick and Morty and
Right.
not
in
in
a
in a
Thor,
Thor movie.
in a Marvel movie.
It's just anyway.
No, and it's sometimes things when you're in the right mood just get you.
Yeah.
You know.
It's
laughing at a funeral.
Takaquita Quikakia. Tekia Kukuida,
The director.
the director.
Right. Well, and Thors are known to be. They're all funny.
Yeah, it's because he directs them all,
Right.
and he's freaking hilarious.
I think it's so interesting in the Marvel universe, and you'd know way more about it than I do. But that some of them are funny, some of them are serious.
They've all got funny though. That's why they're so much better than DC.
But like Doctor Strange was more like a horror film.
Well, that's because they have been trying out different directors.
know?
The director from that was the guy who did like The Grunge, which is such
The
a
Grunge?
stupid movie.
The Grudge, or the Grunge.
Whatever. The stupid.
Starring Kurt Cobain. The Grunge.
No, Kurt Cameron.
The Grudge. Right. Anyway, I liked Thor. It was funny.
Yeah. But when we went out to eat with our friend Danny before, and me and Danny both drank like 4 giant cups of soda, so we had to make urine before the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so we went into, I think I sent you a picture. We went into the bathroom there,
At the theater.
and we've talked about critical bathroom theory before,
Right.
and this bathroom they've done it all wrong.
It's almost like they did it on purpose.
Yeah, so there were 3 urinals. They were all very close together, but the baby urinal was trash bagged off.
COVID. You can't use the.
Yeah,
So it was the short urinal.
so there was only 2 urinals. But if you look at this picture, and there's no dividers in between the urinals.
Right.
This is ballpark style. Okay.
Right. It may as well be a trough.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're really close together, but the weirdest thing, and there's only one stall, the weirdest thing is the distance between the 2 urinals to the stall is like 5 urinals worth.
Right. They could have. You know what happened?
Huh.
The plumber ran out of pipe,
They run out of
so he put the urinals right next
It
to
got
each
a
other.
little too pricey for Cinemark. Like,
We're just gonna have to.
we're gonna have to charge 50 cents more a movie
Right.
if we want to add these 5 other
Just
urinals
to add it to the
in here.
popcorn. Yeah. So,
So
there was a bunch of wall.
Me and Danny are peeing next to each other, and I was having a tiny bit of stage fright,
Right.
and he made me laugh, and I peed all over myself and a little on him, and
Yeah.
I
guys
couldn't
are-
help but look over and glance at his,
Yeah.
enormous Johnson.
Have you ever rubbed elbows?
It was that close.
Yeah.
We could have.
You
We
touch
didn't,
elbows?
but I tucked
Telling
Yeah.
you, you could be midstream, and if you touch elbows, it gets cut off.
immediately.
Stage fright just immediately
Immediately.
kicks on. Yeah.
Unless you're like a World War II vet or something, and then you can just
I can't remember the last time I had
Do
to
it
pee in a trough, but I remember
anywhere.
not liking it. You're standing next
That's
to
weird.
people.
I
It's
remember
like-
loving it.
There's like 7 pee
In
streams.
fact,
Oh.
I've been looking into getting just a trough for my bathroom that
Have
I can
you-
do both 1 and 2 in.
Have you ever seen that video of that guy? That it's like, so the setup is like a woman is doing a news story. So the camera, then she, and behind her is a urinal trough.
Oh, gross.
And while she's filming, while they're filming her, and she's talking about something, I don't know what she's talking about. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Someone walks up and grabs the urinal cake. They think it's a
Oh.
sink with soap. Have you ever seen that video?
No.
Oh man.
Why is she filming in front of
I
a?
don't know. Maybe it just feels like a news thing. Maybe they were just like filming a TikTok
oh,
or something.
okay.
Oh,
I'll have
anyway.
to look into that.
He looks at her and he's like, "This isn't a sink, is it?" It's like,
Well,
oh,
I mean,
man.
it's ammonia. It's
the
it's
look on her face. Oh,
it's
anyway.
not the worst thing you could rub your hands with.
I'm just kind of gaggy now.
I've heard that it fights off COVID really well. The
Right.
ammonia in the urine.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just think that there should be a product out there for these lazy bathroom designers where you can figure out they have seat covers
Right.
They have
You ever use a seat cover?
no.
I feel like you just slide
I don't
around
care.
on there
I don't care if I get AIDS.
from your legs.
Yeah. Wasn't that the whole thing? Like, wasn't that why seat covers came around? Because people were sure they were going to get STDs
You
and
know
stuff
what?
from.
We need to look up why were seat covers for toilets invented? Because it is weird. It's just your legs.
Yeah.
Germs.
I don't want to get my dirty butt.
Dirty. The first known patented model of the toilet seat cover dispenser date back to 1942 and was invented by.
John Toilet Seat.
Yeah. I was trying to think of something clever, but it's J.C. Tomasa.
John C. And actually roughly translates to John C.
Toilet
Cover.
seat. Right, John C. Cover. Yeah.
John C. Splash Protector. AIDS. I don't know. Anyway, I think in the 80s and 90s was when they got really big. People.
But they're porous. So even let's say someone peed all over the seat.
Yeah.
You put a seat cover down. It just goes
Right.
through the seat
Yeah,
cover.
it's gross.
Otherwise, you
It's-
couldn't
I don't
flush 'em.
know. People use them, but it doesn't matter because they actually they take the brunt of the fecal.
Splashing.
What's it called? When the toilet flushes, there's like a fecal explosion.
Right. Mushroom cloud.
Yeah, basically. Fecal spread. So they're all covered in fecal anyway.
Right. We all
Bathrooms are not clean no matter how much you clean
are. No.
them.
You know what's dirtier though? Your cell phone.
You should see my bathroom. I was going to clean it today, but I didn't.
Well, I mean, if you're like me, you clean your phone in the toilet though. So your phone is definitely dirtier.
Well, if you're like me. It's like on a news show on Good Morning America. Well, Sally, if you're like me, you clean your phone in the toilet.
It's free
It builds
water.
up your phone's immune system.
Oh.
And then you put it in rice, which, did you know, you can save for the next day and
I
have
don't
it
know.
for lunch.
I personally have never once had a cracked screen because my phone's immune system.
It's so hot. Oh, man.
Well, hope you enjoyed our ad.
Yeah.
It's the first in a series of fake ads that we're
Oh,
gonna
it's
start
not
to do.
fake. We didn't make that. We found it
We found that ad.
online.
Yeah, it wasn't fake. We found it. It's a product made in Canada. French part of Canada.
Yeah, obviously.
Right.
Not the French part that bombed New Zealand.
No.
So I think the rest of our episode is just terrible, not great stuff. So anyway, a few weeks ago, I think we haven't done an episode since the air show.
Mm-hmm.
We did it right before, but there was a big air show here. That we
United States Air Force.
yeah
Yeah.
yes at the Air Force Base here, and it was a lot of fun. We went to one day kind of in a park, not directly in the air show, and then I went by myself to the air show, and it was
There were like half a
way
million
it was
people.
way better.
It is way better.
500,000
people there.
Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe I'll put some pictures that I took on TikTok.
It's basically a NASCAR event.
Yes, sort of.
There's that many people.
No, there's definitely
Yeah.
tons and tons of people there. There's the real problem is there's lines for everything,
Right.
including
The urinal.
the troughs. You think you could just squeeze people in a
Right.
trough, but
And they're unisex troughs now.
yeah,
This whole
they're really low to the ground.
this whole trans debate, the Air Force really jumped on,
Stand out for 'em.
and everybody's required to stand over them. Yeah.
Yep. Anyway,
You straddle it, is what I'm saying. You straddle the trough now.
So, one of the things they always bring to these air shows is the Truckosaurus,
Right.
which is not actually what it's called. It's a jet truck.
What's Truckosaurus? Was that like the monster truck dinosaur that used to eat the cars?
It's actually made up from a TV, a cartoon, but yeah, that is
You
a
remember that,
thing.
though?
Yeah, that is a thing.
monster truck shows it would eat, it would
Right.
chomp the cars.
Right.
Yeah.
But they brought the Shockwave jet truck, and when I was there, I'll have to put this picture up. They got really, really close. I thought they were going to set us on fire.
Right.
What the heck? Oh, this stupid Fox News site that I'm on. Anyway, And it was funny because I was like in the second row, if there were rows,
Row,
and I had my camera and I was snapping pictures of it because the flames are huge. And this little girl, just turns around and starts running and screaming away from her mom
Well, I
into
mean-
this crowd of hundreds of thousands of people. And I was like, wait, where are you going? It's okay.
You failed to mention that she was on fire.
Yeah, but I have the picture of like right before the little girl is like about
Right.
to run away.
So it was like right as he lit the burner.
Yeah, and it's cool. They take the truck out and they drive. I think it's like 320 miles per hour or something crazy. And the guy who usually does it is part of a family that's been doing it for a long time, and his name is Chris Darnell. Now, I want to send you. I forgot to send this to you. A video of Chris Cornell.
Cornell? Soundgarden?
No.
No. Audio Slave? No.
Go
Oh,
ahead
no.
and click on that there. And
I think I'm on Bluetooth, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Let's turn this volume up here.
The following week of our air show, they were doing another air show. They tour in Battle
Right.
Creek, Michigan. When this happened,
Okay, you're gonna play it right now.
okay. Where's that coming
hang
from?
on, hang on. The sound is coming from the wrong spot. I have
coming
a
from the
bad
TV?
feeling about this video, man. I'm not sure I really want to watch it. Here we go. Now it should be going to the studio. All right. Turn that up.
Chris will put on the hammer, and he'll accelerate out from Air Show Right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Top Gun Shockwave Jet Truck, the king of the jet trucks, as we watch out here at Air Show Right. Coming down our show line out here.
It's the same guy that announced our air show.
His starters
So this
standing
is like
there.
the next
He's
week?
getting a sign.
Yeah,
The
it
airplanes
is.
are coming. Hey, they're flying upside down. Both Bill and Rob are inverted as they go by. As they pass him, you can see it. Here comes the Shockwave. He is coming fast. He is coming really fast. He's catching up. Looks like he has caught Bill Stein. He's coming up on Rob Holland. Oh, he passed Rob Holland. He did not catch Bill Stein. Oh, boy.
Oh my
Got an
lord!
incident here with the
So the
Shockwave
jet
out
truck,
here at Air Show
it's
Center.
going at 300 miles per hour. It takes a hop and then it just starts rolling.
Oh my! I was actually like, I didn't know this happened till right now, and I was gonna ask, like, has he ever crashed?
He's dead. He did not, unfortunately.
Holy shit!
The time that I saw him was the last time that he did it alive.
So has he been doing it for like 30 years?
He's 40, and like I said, he's part of a family. There's
Oh, okay.
multiple trucks.
Because I remember
but
seeing it maybe 20 years ago.
it was someone in his family.
Oh.
So yeah, a tire ruptured. It said, and it came apart and ruptured the fuel tank on the left side. And
Man, I mean, they probably change the tires every show.
yeah, it should.
Like, because I literally right before you showed me the video, I was like, I wonder if they lock the steering wheel or something, or lock
I
the
would
alignment.
imagine.
You know, because he's going so fast.
This is going 350 miles per hour.
That is awful. So this was on July 4th.
July.
Oh, the video was
It
posted on the
was
4th.
a few days before. I think it was the 2nd or 3rd.
Jeez.
But yeah, so he did not make it, and there were, it kind of rocked the air show community, if you will, and Bayo was at the show, and she did a honorary flyby for him,
Oh, really?
and the Thunderbirds, every time they want to pay tribute to someone,
Do the fly off thing.
well, they actually put their name inside the landing gear bay of one of the Thunderbird 1. And I guess they wanted to do it, but all the Air Force, I guess they used stencils or something, but they said they didn't have the right equipment there because of the weekend, so they pulled like all these stencils from all these other things and spelled his name out in the...
Like it's on the inside of the landing
Yeah,
gear?
I don't know
Okay.
why they don't do that, but so
That's
yeah,
terrible.
man, that was a real bummer. I didn't even hear about it till a couple days
So
ago,
you saw
but
his last successful run.
I think so. I guess there could have been one before this because he did do it twice for us too. But
Poor announcer.
yeah, man, kind of stuff doesn't happen very often,
No.
but
You're all excited, and then you're, how do I address this?
they canceled the rest of the air show. They're
Did
like,
they really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be investigation. He does it on the
Yeah.
runway and everything. So,
Jeez.
so yeah, man, it was just a bad weekend overall.
was rough,
that
man.
was
It was rough.
and
yeah.
I don't know. We talked about the parades. I mean, of course, there was the parade shooting, which was national, and we have a lot of people in Utah that listen to us. We have a few that listen outside of Utah, but the parade that is right outside your parents' house that you've been going to
Yep.
forever, we were there, and a little girl died
Right.
because she got ran over.
Yep.
So it's just, happy birthday.
Shit, man. It was awful. It was, that was rough. Yeah, they canceled the rest of that parade, as they should, but it was sad. So.
But yeah,
It just was a fucking rough weekend, man. Like,
and I had to go to a family reunion, and that was
yeah,
that was
just-
the worst.
Sometimes you just like, I'm just gonna go home and cry. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna go cry this one out.
Yeah, and man, I gotta say, I got more irritated than I usually do with the commentary on the shooting.
I honestly didn't watch. I read.
I know. I
But-
don't know. I always turn that on to the local station
I
and
know.
watch and the interviews when they're interviewing people, and this is Highland Park, which is outside of Chicago,
It's a very
which
nice,
is considered a small town
it's a
outside
very
of Chicago.
nice suburb.
But really, when you
Yeah.
get to Chicago, everything's just it's all big.
It's a
There's lot-
Chicago. It's like the Chicago area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the things that and I don't know if it annoyed me or it was just like, come on, people. But all the comments, the commissioner of the town or whatever, the police chief, the people that were there, they kept saying, "I can't believe that it happened here."
Yeah.
And I'm like, you guys, enough.
Right.
Like
Where do you
I am
believe
beyond.
It?
I know it's going to happen here.
Right. Where do you
it's just
believe
when,
where
and
do you
I
believe
just
it
hope
should
to
happen?
God I'm not there when it
Right.
happens.
Yeah.
Because-
Because where, in your opinion, like, I wish that would be just a great follow-up question. Like, where do you expect this to happen then?
We have to expect this to happen in shitty towns like Vivaldi, Texas,
Right.
and
Yeah. It's like,
and
come on. No, there's a reason that
and Parkland,
the-
Florida, and
the PAC or nonprofit that I support anyway for gun control is called Everytown.
Yeah.
For a reason,
right.
because it can happen in every town.
I just feel like at this point we have these happen every week.
Yeah.
Not necessarily to this extent. I can't remember what the actual number is for mass shooting. If it's 4 or something.
Well, every place does it different, but I think the most common one I found is if 4 injured besides the shooter.
Right. So there were
killed, injured or
seven
killed.
killed and 30 injured
Yeah.
or shot. At most of the injured were shot.
Right.
And he shot 70 shots. So, not that great of a shot, but
Well, I mean, it could have definitely been a more like a Vegas style.
it could have. The way he did it was definitely
right.
like that. So, after all this, please, people, it's gonna happen.
Right.
Like you just hope that you're not gonna be there for it,
Right.
because
Well, stop thinking it's not going to
I
happen. in
just
your town.
I'm to the point now where I'm like, we're too stupid in this country to have guns. We're too dumb. Or something. I don't know.
There's just too many.
There's too many guns.
It's too easy to get one.
And I agree that mental health would be great.
Clearly.
I also don't think it's the end all be all. I don't think if this kid got mental health help
No,
that it would have changed anything.
The police had already been to his house.
He threatened to kill his whole family.
Yeah, like maybe a red flag law would have worked here,
Maybe.
or there's New
his,
York.
His dad did like co-sign to buy him the guns, I guess, because Chicago has stricter gun law rules.
Right. New York apparently, because the Supreme Court overturned their handgun law,
Mm-hmm.
is going to start requiring access to your social media to get a permit. I love it.
That's good.
I love it. But
I don't know what the answer is really.
Well, there's two.
I don't know if there is one.
There's not. There's 2 things that everybody should be doing, though. And the first thing, like you said, is stop assuming it's not going to happen in your town. It could easily happen in your town.
Mm-hmm.
There are guns everywhere in this country.
And just keep in mind, you can be aware. You can be looking around the whole time. You can have your exits planned out. But if you're the first one hit,
Doesn't
it
matter.
doesn't matter.
Right. The second thing is to stop. I talked about this. I can't remember if it was after Uvalde or the one before. But the people who carry these out, they generally have some sort of background, yes, right? But no one has ever said about a shooter, well, I expected this.
That's true.
These guys don't become monsters until after they've done what they've done. I'm not giving them a pass, but what I am saying is stop thinking that the people you know couldn't do this. Right?
I mean, it's a hard
Anybody-
thing, but it's a hard thing to. I mean, imagine if someone came up to you and been like, "Hey, have you looked at Quinn lately?" Like,
No, for sure.
you know,
For
like
sure.
we're worried that she's gonna. What would your reaction be?
No,
to that?
absolutely. I totally agree that it'd be really hard
Now,
to look at your
if
children.
Quinn had face tattoos and,
It'd be really
and
hard.
posted, radical right wing fascist, crazy, kill all,
But I told you about the video I
and
saw.
threatened to kill the whole family. It might be different,
Yeah.
but
I told you about the video I saw that was a mom and her son were on their front porch, and the police were there to arrest the 15-year-old son
right.
because he had posted in a game chat, like an Xbox chat, that he was going to shoot up his school. So they went to arrest him.
Right.
You can't do that.
No.
Right? And the mom was like, "But he's just a kid. He would never do that." Well, yeah, I mean, most of these
He's only a 17-year-old boy
right, I'm like most of these guys have been
who
doing
gets bullied
Yeah.
at school. He's not. He doesn't fit your typical 17 to 20-year-old kid who gets bullied at school, who shoots it up.
Right.
What are you talking about?
it. Right. You just like think of what if you're describing what you believe a normal person is.
Mhm.
Think of how broad that spectrum really is.
Mm.
Right? If you're just kind of generally like, he's a normal guy, he could still have some really fucked up worldviews, and you'd still kind of put him. He's just a normal guy.
Right.
He's going through some shit.
Mm.
But
He posted, "I'm gonna blow up the the Capitol building."
no one ever. It's like the people whose uncle or dad or someone went to January 6th.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, I don't know what happened. Never would have expected this.
He only talked about it all the time.
Yeah, but they've never interviewed anyone.
I thought he was joking.
Yeah, I mean, even with this guy
Uh-huh.
who posted all this shit, the police have been there. Have they even interviewed anyone who's like, I totally saw this coming?
Oh, everything I've heard is parents were like, we just thought he was, going through a phase, joking.
Yeah. Well, parents, you do kind of have to give parents. I mean, I say this with caution. You do kind of have to give them a little bit of pass because it would be really hard
Right.
to identify your kid. But I'm talking about the rest of us
Right.
can start to look around and be like, what the fuck did you just say?
Right.
What did you just post?
Right.
Nah, not now.
Yeah.
You can't post that now. We're getting to the old free speech. You can't yell fire in a crowded theater. We're getting to that point where you can't really joke about shooting people anymore. It's just happening too often. It's ubiquitous.
Right.
You can't joke about it anymore.
Right.
So we all have to assume that it's going to happen where we live, and we all have to be just a lot more cognizant of fucked up thinking, and think that even the people you might define as normal might have some weird thinking that you should probably address.
Yeah. I don't think I know anyone that would shoot up. I don't know.
I mean, none of us think we do. That's the problem,
Well, I know. I
right?
know.
None of us are like, well,
I feel like
could
if I
see-
met face tattooed guy, I'd be like,
maybe like Post Malone, That's what I mean, though, right? That's what I mean. Like, there's no profile for these guys other than white and younger.
Well, I think we should round up all
the white people.
18-year-olds, 18 to 20-year-olds
Yeah, there's a specific demo. Anyway, no, it's terrible.
that
I'm sick of it.
dress like a woman, 'cause that's what this kid did
Yeah.
to escape.
Yeah, you just can't. I even think about like the Billy Madison scene where he calls the guy to apologize and
Uh-huh.
he crosses him off the list and he's like cleaning his gun.
Right.
I'm like, that was funny in 1992 or whenever that came out.
No, it's like, huh. Should we be worried about Billy Madison?
Right, you can't. Now you couldn't do that joke on a TV on a movie.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be funny.
It wouldn't fly.
Yeah.
because it's too real. I watched a documentary, a new one on Netflix. It's more geared towards internet stuff, but it was talking about swatting.
Oh, that's scary shit.
And the notorious guy, I can't remember his name, in California that was doing it, and he got a guy. Well, it's hotly contested as to what happened because the cop pulled the trigger. And
right. If you don't know what swatting is, that's like when someone gets your address somehow.
Right.
And calls the police saying you have a hostage or something at that address. And so the SWAT team busts in, and a lot of people have been hurt or killed by the police.
So this kid and the kid that was doing the swatting made a bet, like $1 bet is all it was. I guess it's an online gambling video game thing. And he lost, and the kid was like, well, why don't you come swat me then? Here's my address. And he gave him his old address. And the kid swatted him and sent the cops over there, and the guy...
So to a kid who wasn't even involved.
Wasn't a kid. Well, it was an adult.
Wasn't even involved,
but he was Hispanic, and he came out, and the cops were there, and he's confused, and apparently something he did made the cop think he was pulling a gun, and he killed him. And anyway, the cop was prosecuted and sent to jail, and
really?
I'm just joking.
Like, holy shit!
No, he got off, and he's, despite him having like 3 infractions beforehand and after, he's totally.
Well, Derek Chauvin got 21 years in federal prison.
Oh, 1 out of 1,000, huh?
Yeah, which. My dad made a good point. He's like, he actually probably wanted this sentence because serving time in a federal prison.
Yeah, that's what the news is saying.
It's probably a little bit
easier for him.
He's been segregated right now, so he doesn't get killed. 24 hours a day in a little...
Darn.
Some piece of shit.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So there I was the other day at the doctor's office, waiting to get my butt stabbed for a 3rd time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting in the waiting room, and I've the 3 times that I've gone, well, at the 2nd and 3rd time I started noticing the same people. We were all getting rescheduled at the same time. And this last time there's an old man and his wife. They got to be probably 70s, maybe older, probably 70s though.
Yeah.
And they have someone from their ward come in, and she's Chinese. And she's considerably younger than them. Well, probably like 20 years younger than them. And they're talking, and the old man...
This is just someone from their neighborhood happens to be in...
has an appointment at the same time, and an old friend from another ward or something. And I only know this because I'm eavesdropping.
Right.
And she's got... the UV white sleeves on that a lot of, you see Asian people, they do that kind of stuff all the time. They go out swimming in like full bodysuits.
What's been outlawed in France.
Well, yeah, not necessarily burqas, but yeah.
Yeah, they cover up though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the old man's like, what are those? What are those, young lady? Sweetheart. And she's just like, oh, I'm not going to do that. But she did have a Chinese accent. Okay. So we'll just they're for my arms so I don't get sunburnt. And I'm like, okay, in my head I'm like, yeah, that's whatever.
Sure.
And he's like, oh, you think you're going to get sunburnt with your ethnicity? I'm like, this guy has been on this planet.
He's been around a long time.
For 70 plus years.
Right.
And he thinks that other ethnicities don't get sunburnt.
UV just bounces
that they're
right
just
off.
so dark that they couldn't possibly.
But she's Asian.
Right.
Okay.
And I'm like, these are the people that are running our country.
Yeah.
And that are voting for Trump.
Right.
And I just...
Did his wife be like, honey?
No. She was just like, oh, yeah, that's a good point there, honey bun.
Oh, man.
And I'm just over there like, are you serious, dude?
That's weird.
I was pretty sure he at some point he's gonna said, "Is it your Oriental heritage?"
Right.
And she didn't say it, but he did. He did say, "Oh, you look so young 'cause you're Chinese."
No,
Which
he didn't.
He did at
Oh,
some point, yeah.
jeez.
But in all fairness, they don't age. Kimchi, I guess. I don't know.
That's weird. That's a weird thing. Like,
I will say that I pieced together that she was probably in her 50s. I think she said that at one point, but I would have put her in like 40s
Yeah.
or 30s.
that's pretty funny. Did she say anything? Like,
No,
we
she just-
sunburn.
just
People sunburn.
yeah, she did. She's like, no, I still sunburn like every other human being. Everyone sunburns. You stupid old mother. And she slapped him.
Yeah. And then kneed him in the
Get
dick.
the f out of the doctor's office. And then I helped her just kick his ass out, which turned out we had to put him down.
And I broke my pocket puss.
Yeah. Anyway, I just
Yeah.
but speaking of old men that are running the country, at my family reunion, we have a lot of more right-leaning people in my family, I'd say, and they got into their whole discussion about electric vehicles for whatever reason, because half of them are mechanics and
Sure. They just can't.
they don't know how
stand
to
the
work
fact-
on electric vehicles.
Can't stand the fact that all these electric vehicles are beating them off the line.
And they're coming up with all this misinformation that they say is fact, but is
hotly contested.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just something they heard on Facebook. And I don't get involved. I just like, all right, whatever.
Right.
Fine. One of the comments was, well, they charge up their cars, but what do you think's running the chargers?
Right.
It's diesel fuel. Like, yeah, that's
Well, your town runs on diesel?
yeah. And so, afterwards, I was like, all right, I want to figure out where this means. So I started looking some stuff up, and the cost to the cost benefit ratio on the EV cars, it's great. It
Right.
really
Of course.
it's good. They are more expensive. Gas, way less, like 70% less to fill up on electricity.
Right. Especially if you have green chargers.
Yeah,
like
you don't
solar.
have oil changes.
Right.
Maintenance is lower. Of course, their argument is that we're making them to be green, which I don't know if you've looked out in Utah and
Yeah.
seen how disgusting the air is.
Yeah. Yeah, we're kind of
But their argument's like, well, they're not green because you're getting the electricity from the coal burning. And so I looked into that, and I'm like, okay, you're right. In some places where coal is the main thing, they aren't as environmentally friendly.
right.
In some places. Like maybe in this city that we're in,
Right.
they still are more environmentally friendly.
Right. The amount of carbon released in the atmosphere by burning coal to charge your car
Right.
is less than the amount of carbon released
But
by burning fuel.
that is not the only way we make electricity in this
No,
country. There's hydroelectric, which is pretty much pollutant free. We have wind, we have solar,
Wind causes
we
cancer.
have nuclear,
Yeah.
we have all sorts of other things. So if you're driving an electric car in, say, California, Nevada, Wyoming, Texas, a lot of these places that have these other forms of electricity, the environmental benefit is through the roof.
Right.
But politicians, this is from MSN here, have to run on some kind of platform. And Ben Moss, my state House representative here in North Carolina's District 52, decided that his animating principle is being mad at electricity. To prove his animosity toward the invisible menace, he's sponsoring House Bill 1049, which would allocate $50,000 to destroy free public car chargers. So he wants to destroy get rid of
His platform is just to oppose electricity.
$50,000 to destroy free public car chargers. It contains some other enlightened ideas, but that's the main theme. We've simply got to do something about these free public chargers, even if it costs $50,000. Those things cost tens of cents per hour when they're being used. Tens of cents
Where is this guy?
per North Carolina.
Oh my god.
Now, of course, there's a caveat here. Moss isn't saying that free public level 2 chargers, of which there are 3 in my town, with plans in the works to convert to paid kiosks, definitely need to be crushed by a monster truck. That rule only comes into play if a town refuses to build. You ready for this? If the town refuses to build free gas and free diesel pumps
Shut up,
next to
dude.
the EV
Fuck
chargers.
this guy.
So because there are not free gas and free diesel pumps next to the electric chargers, mind you, these electric chargers cost tens of cents.
Tens of cents.
His words, tens of cents per hour to
Right.
run. Whereas a pump costs $5 a gallon now, which can be pumped in roughly 30 seconds.
I feel like this guy probably knows what he's doing is bullshit, but the voters are too stupid.
I don't know, man. Louis Gohmert is a politician
That's
as
true.
well, and
That's
so is
true.
Lauren Boebert, and so is that other dumb
MTG.
Yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh.
The some of the dumbest people on the planet. And just the idea that people are like, you know what? Yeah, hell yeah! This is America. There
Nothing's
should be
free.
free gas.
It's either free gas or nothing's free. You can't get.
It's just astonishing. It's just, why do these people dislike the environment and progress so much? Why
I
is
don't
it?
know.
Why is
I
it
don't-
so
I
hard
don't know. It doesn't make any
for
sense
them
to
to
me.
accept the future, to move on?
Well, I was having. I told
I
you
mean,
this. I was-
did this stuff happen
No.
when buggies, when horse-drawn carriages were being replaced by cars? You know what? Those cars, they're not as efficient as a horse.
You know what? Probably there were probably arguments.
They're taking away our jobs.
Yeah.
Who's gonna build the horses?
I've actually heard that argument. But speaking to progress,
Mm-hmm.
they're saying like when automobiles came around, a lot of buggy drivers. I don't know what they're
Right.
called. What are they called? I can't remember what they're called. But the person who drives the buggy with the horses,
Right.
that a lot of them lost jobs, but they were able to find other jobs.
There's right now in this economy, there's never been a better time to
Right.
find a job.
Because that's one of the main talking points that conservatives use is, well, that's going to get rid of jobs.
took our jobs.
Right. Well, but we can look back in history at other times when something has taken over something else.
I think
How come no one's pissed that there's no Blockbusters anymore? What about those jobs?
well, they took our jobs. We should build blockbusters.
Yeah.
I think that we need to change our mindset about the future of working. Because robots are coming.
Right.
They're in the next 30 years they're going to replace a lot of jobs.
I've seen tons of ads lately to invest in the fast food robots.
Oh yeah, they're having to because nobody's working there.
Right. Well, like they're encouraging us to, like me, to invest in that company. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Eventually, a lot of things will be automated, but we're going to be able to work to do things that we want to do.
Right.
Like be creative.
Right.
To build things, like to build art, to invent, to work in the scientific community.
Do things that your brain is actually
And
instead of drone work.
right.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe that isn't for everybody, but
Sure.
it could be. I think that there's a lot of people who think they're not talented at things, but they could be.
Right.
They just
They don't have the
they're
time.
too locked down on
Yeah.
their jobs, and maybe if they didn't have anything else to do, they could.
Even if you have the time, even if you, let's say you work 8 hours, that's it, right?
Mhm.
Then you do have some time on your hands, but you're usually so mentally and emotionally drained
Right.
from your drone job
Right.
that it's hard to
Right.
get the gumption.
And honestly, maybe someday we'll just not have money like they do in Star Trek,
Right.
and the world would be just a so much better place.
All
Although
all the capitalists need to die.
I've wondered, I really do wonder how, because that's the premise in Star Trek is we don't have money,
Right.
but there's got to be something, right? Like, because they have replicators that make all the food, and they don't need
I guess,
that.
I mean, it just depends on how low you can get the cost of everything.
I guess.
I don't know. It's hard for us who live in a capitalist society to imagine that.
Right.
Because all your mind goes back to is, well, who's going to pay for that? Like, right? Like,
Right.
even if there's all robots that are free making all the food, you're still like, well, who's going to pay for it?
Right.
Even if you can't articulate what it is you're worried about not being paid for. It's just hard for us to wrap our minds around.
It is.
But
Don't worry, the Vulcans are coming. I
Yeah.
think 2063 or 2036 is the first contact day.
jeez. What are these numbers you have in the rundown here?
First
yeah,
first contact day is April 5th, 2063. So I don't know. We'll be around for that when the Vulcans come.
I don't know.
We have to have a warp drive by then.
Right.
Well, I just I don't remember why I decided to look this up.
But that's why we have phones and computers. So that you
I
can.
was bored,
Yeah.
and I was like, I think it's 'cause on the radio they were talking about football and the crowd draw that Notre Dame has, 'cause there's all this conference shifting around, and
Right.
Notre Dame's always been independent. But they mentioned that the Catholic Church has 1.3 billion members.
Jeez. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they mentioned that BYU, which also has a big national following here, has 16.5 or 17 million members. And I was like, whoa, that is not a lot in comparison
No,
to
yeah.
the Catholics. The Catholics, that's a small country. I mean, the Mormons, that's like New Zealand. Actually,
Right.
no, I think New Zealand only has like 3 million
Catholic, that's a
people.
giant country.
Yeah.
That's like China. 1.3 billion.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. There's, 350
Um,
million people in America. I'm actually really surprised by this number of Baptists.
Yeah, so I
100
decided
million.
to look up different sects of Christianity to see how the Mormon Church the LDS Church compares. And according to the various websites, there's 100 million Baptists, 74.2 million Lutheran. I think I saw there were 30 or 70 million Methodists, something like that. And then I found, did I just airdrop that to you?
Yeah, a little graph.
Yeah, I found this little graph from a site talking about religion. And on it, it has the percentages of major Christian religions.
Right.
And it has 51 point, and it's a pie chart, 50.1% is Catholic, 36.7 is Protestant, 11.9 is Orthodox, and 1.3 is other Christian.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I had to dig in and start reading the article here to see exactly what Protestant was, and
Right.
Protestant is
Reformed.
basically Lutheran and Baptist and
Right.
Methodist and all that sort of thing. Then I had to see what Orthodox was, and then they talked about other Christian, 1.3. Turns out that 1.3% is Mormons. Jehovah's Witness, what they called fringe,
Fringe, yeah,
or
Seventh-day Adventists.
other Christian. So I don't know.
It's fascinating. Like I said, I'm actually really blown away by the number of Baptists. 100 million
Well-
Baptists in the world.
And
I thought that was-
bear in mind.
I might be ignorant, but I thought that was predominantly an American.
I did too.
Sect.
At least, but you have to take into consideration that not all of these religions require as much commitment as the LDS Church does.
Right.
Also, you have to take into consideration that the LDS Church has been known to inflate their numbers.
Well, did you read the article? Was it a survey, or was it just
I don't
based on
remember.
the church's reporting? Because that's. I guess if they're getting the actual numbers, they're probably. But yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sure
they-
that's just the reporting.
yeah, the Mormon Church. I'm sure, like all churches, definitely inflate their numbers.
Oh, of course.
But yeah, 100 million Baptists.
I mean, there was growing up in Texas, everyone was Baptist, but not everyone went to church on Sunday.
right?
You know, there is a ton of Catholics that only go to church on Easter,
Right.
if that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this is this is the church's reporting. 16.805 million.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's real.
Yeah.
Apparently, only half of those live in the States. I remember hearing that somewhere. But anyway.
Well, I
interesting
don't
numbers.
know. I just
And it's, I mean, the Catholic might be the biggest, but it's not by much when you start looking at Buddhists and Hindus
yeah,
and Islam.
Christianity is the biggest religion.
And then Islam is next, I
And
think.
yeah.
You got like 1 billion Hindus in India and 1 billion Buddhists in
Just so you guys, if you want to do a little reading, they're all pretty much the same.
They're all the same. Yeah. They're all the same. Yep. All right. Well, you talked about your doctor. Let me give you all an update on my TMS.
Your magnets?
Yeah, the magnets to the head. Still don't really know if it's working.
I don't know. You seem happier.
I'm three weeks in. I'm going every day. It's a 3-minute treatment of a big giant magnet on my head that
I wish I could do
pulses.
that for my back instead of shoving,
Yeah.
foot-long needles. in my
So I
back.
told you how it like they got the part of my brain it like also makes my jaw muscle clench.
Mhm.
You know, like over and over again, like that.
Right.
The tech that was doing it, she's like, hey, this is like a Wednesday. She's like, hey, on Friday, can you come in at a different time? I was like, sure, just let me know, And so
Uh-huh.
she comes back in. It's 3 minutes while I'm sitting in the chair. She's like, "Is any time work good for you?" And she asked me right as it started to go again. And so I tried to talk, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm good." Yeah, no, anytime. Please don't talk to me while this is making my jaw go crazy. I feel like I have TMJ again from TMS. Anyway, they give me this little.
I remember watching TMS back in the 90s on MTV
Right.
with Carson Daly.
Darson Cayley.
Yeah.
They give me this little card though every day that has. It's subjective. It's like, what mood or emotion are you feeling today?
Yeah.
Did I tell you about this?
Yeah.
I don't know what to put on there.
Last time you said that you put frustrated or
Yeah, that's right.
or irritated. I can't remember.
So the girl at the front desk, she's like, I'm gonna get some of these.
I'm incredulous.
She handed me a paper. She's like, I'm gonna get some of these laminated. And
You
it was
need-
like an emotion wheel.
You need to start putting like
Crazy words.
Googling the most complicated
Right.
emotional words you can finding their synonym. and
Right.
then-
So she gave me this. It's like a wheel. So the first, like in the center, is for like angry, sad, happy, and then it branches out from there. So you can get some different
Mhm.
this whole spectrum of emotion. I was like, yeah, it's actually kind of cool. But anyway, I mean, I think it might be working. I don't know.
I don't know. You,
So I've
you
got-
seem pretty cheery.
I've got another what?
How's the anxiety though? Because it's supposed to be kicking up.
It's okay. I mean, I still take meds for it.
Okay.
I'm still taking. I don't take. So that's actually a good point. I was taking 2 Klonopin a day for a while.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'd get a prescription of 60
Mhm.
to last me a month, and they'd last me a little bit over a month.
Right.
Before I switched to Buspar, right? But my doctor was kind of worried about how much Klonopin I was taking because it can be dependent. So, but I looked at the date on my prescription for Klonopin the other day, and it's still half full. and it was refilled on like April 13th.
Oh, so you've been taking less.
Way less.
Way less.
Way less. So yeah, I'm on Buspar for anxiety now that I take twice a day.
What's the difference?
It's just a different. Buspar doesn't have any long-term negative effects that they've found
Oh.
in terms of like dependency or liver issues that you can get with Klonopin.
I mean,
So-
it does make your urethra narrow and your.
I do have a super narrow urethra. Yeah, my pee stream is hypersonic.
It's actually.
I've
It's actually been a problem with. We've had to get steel toilets.
right. Yeah, no, the porcelain comes off.
The porcelain flakes. It's been an issue.
It really hurts if it comes back. But I started
Peels
using
that shine right off.
I started using a pocket puss, and it saved my walls. So
Yeah,
anyway,
Did I tell you? Oh, I said I wasn't going to tell this story on the episode, but you know what? I'll do it. A few weeks ago, I woke up in the middle of the night. How was I? I was tripping, man. I was so out of it, like more than usual. 'Cause you know, you wake up to pee, you're normally pretty, but I was exceptionally out of it.
oh yeah, you talked about this.
Yeah, because I told you and Jake, I was like, I'm not gonna say.
Yeah, you talked about it.
But I literally stumbled into the bathroom. I almost tripped over myself like 3 times.
Yeah.
And I get in there and I start peeing and I start feeling something on my legs. Like
Wait,
this.
is this a different story?
No, it's the same one.
Oh,
And I'm like, what is happening? And I look down and I'm like, what? I didn't put the toilet seat up. I'm peeing on the toilet seat. And it's all straight
Yeah.
splashback.
still haven't cleaned it up.
I still haven't cleaned it up. I didn't shower or change that night at all.
Right.
No. It was a rough night, man.
I have. I think one of the biggest surprises in life is sitting down on the lid, or not the lid.
Not the lid is
Like if the seat's up,
that's always,
then you get then you're in the water.
then
but
you get a
somehow
STD
you're
for sure.
somehow your cell phone gets in your butt.
That's actually how I wash myself. I put it in between
Yeah,
my
you dip.
cheeks and
You
I
dip.
dip. Just boop,
Oh man.
boop.
So I can tell you're getting pretty sleepy here.
Am I?
Yeah, that's okay.
What time is it? Oh, it's almost 11.
So this can be.
We'll see what happens during the break and if I
What's-
put the toilet seat up or not.
We'll take a break after this story, but the petition to have Supreme Court Associate Justice Clarence Thomas impeached has reached 1.185 million signatures.
1 point how many?
185. 1.2 million signatures. So if you haven't signed this, go to moveon.org and sign this because he, it's not just because of Roe v. Wade. It's really not even because of that one. The problem is there are text messages between his wife, Virginia, she goes by Ginny, and Mark Meadows, Trump's chief of staff, leading up to the insurrection. And there's been cases that have reached the Supreme Court involving that very subject that he has not recused himself from. He was the lone justice who voted against having the White House release records regarding January 6th. So he's clearly got like some feelings about this.
Well, he's kind of a piece of
He is. And so, but I wanted to talk about the precedent here. So, over the course of American history, 14 federal judges have been impeached, and it's the same as if for a president, a normal majority in the House,
Mhm.
and then a supermajority in the Senate to remove a federal judge. And so 14 have been impeached. I believe 8 have been removed and 3 have resigned during the process. So it's happened before. It could happen. He could certainly be impeached. There's no way the Senate would ever vote to remove him, especially if Joe Biden's the president, because
Right.
no Republican's going to vote to remove and
You know,
have Joe Biden
I
appoint.
do find it interesting that Joe hasn't gone to the Supreme Court and been like, hey, listen,
Right.
If you
Threaten them.
don't knock this off, I'm going to take all your power away because I'm going to add 4 justices.
Yeah.
And you guys will be screwed. So knock it off.
I wish that he would pack the court.
Speaking
mind at all.
speaking of the justices, did you see
Man, I gotta.
Brett Kavanaugh's dinner?
I did. And did you see the restaurant? Like,
Not. It is
see
astounding
here.
how hypocritical these people
Oh, I
are.
don't think this is the one I
Tweet
want.
is referring.
Oh yeah, here's some
My
of the
favorite
tweets.
tweets that I've seen in response to this.
So
Someone at Morton should have.
Brett Kavanaugh went to dinner.
went to a steakhouse.
Yeah, and
I like beer.
Yeah, he likes beer and squee. And
Tobin.
and
This
he was
visit to
met
this-
by protesters.
Right.
Served Brett Kavanaugh a microscopic glob of cow cells and told him it was the same as a steak. It doesn't matter if protesters interrupt his meal because Brett Kavanaugh believes dinner begins at reservation. If Brett Kavanaugh finds that a mob of angry protesters interrupting his dinner is inevitable, then he should just lay back and try to enjoy it. Ooh, that one is dark.
Yeah.
If you know the statement this tweet is referring to, you know. And probably my personal favorite, if Brett Kavanaugh isn't prepared to go to a Morton's in another state, then he shouldn't have let himself get hungry. This is how I feel about Brett Kavanaugh and his
Oh, yeah.
So
This,
yeah,
I mean, keep in mind, this has been on his calendar
So-
for like 3 years.
yeah, he went to the steakhouse. He was mobbed by protesters.
Right.
The restaurant apologized on Twitter.
To
and
him.
then those were some of the tweets in response to that apologize. Some of
The
the
steakhouse-
thousands of funny tweets.
Right. The steakhouse was apologizing to Brett Kavanaugh,
Yeah.
saying that he has a right to a peaceful dinner,
Right. Right.
which is nowhere in the Constitution, mind you.
Mind you, based on precedent.
I saw that they were like overrun with reservations, like fake reservations.
Oh yeah, and people kept.
Jeez.
So that was funny. I hope they keep doing that kind of stuff
Oh,
to
yeah.
Brett Kavanaugh. I
Yeah.
hope just so much that he's just like, I need beer, and he's on the bench like, listen, you guys.
Listen, some of the justices or federal judges who have been removed from office or impeached have charges that are ranging from drunkenness on the bench
Really?
to accepting bribes. Yeah,
Well, I would imagine Brett Kavanaugh's probably already done both of those.
yeah.
He does
Uh,
like beer.
So just so you know, in 1969, Abe Fortas became the first and to date only Supreme Court justice to resign under the threat of impeachment. 1969. Wasn't that long ago? So if we can get
I
Clarence Thomas
mean-
scared here,
He's pretty old, isn't
I'm
he?
hoping that the January 6th committee subpoenas Virginia, his wife. I think that would be awesome. If there's text messages between her and the chief of staff
Right.
of Trump, like what do you need? You know?
Before we go to break, there's one other thing here that you put.
Yeah, I put a couple other things. in
How
there, but-
many? So this is 9mm.
Oh, I found a TikTok page of I think he's a gun instructor,
Uh-huh.
and he was shooting a stack of books that he taped together, like 1 or 2 inch thick books, like textbooks. He was shooting them with different guns to see how many books it would take to stop the bullet.
I see.
I don't think he had any motive, although some of his he did have a video about a bulletproof backpack, so maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the first one I came across was a 9mm. So he's got a stack of like
5.56.
oh shit.
Right.
He's got a stack of like 10 books stacked together.
Right.
AR style weapon? Find out.
Oh, that's the AR video.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a stack of like 20 books.
So he shoots the 9mm rather than show them all. I'll just tell you.
Okay.
Shoots the 9mm and he's like, let's see how many it went through, and people are guessing like, oh, I bet it took 6 books, and he pulls the first book down, no bullet hole. It stopped 1 inch in to the first book.
Really?
The 9mm. You could the slug was in there. It was all flat. You know what I mean? So then he does a 45,
Mm-hmm.
and it goes through. I think it was 2 books,
Okay.
and then he does an AR-15. And that's the video I sent you. If you want to watch it, you can. I can't remember how many it went through. It's a 5.53 round.
1 book, 2 book, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books, then it disappeared.
So you can pause it there. So it goes through 8 textbooks, and then it actually goes through the table that it's on. It's a lifetime plastic table.
Okay. Well, why don't we just give all kids eight to 10 textbooks that they can shield themselves with at all times?
So he shot the 5.53 at that bulletproof backpack, and it went through. And it has like a trauma plate.
That's okay. I haven't heard of AR-15s being used in school shootings, so
never.
that's not very
I was
common.
genuinely surprised, as was he, that the 9mm and the 45 didn't go further. But just goes to show how damaging the AR-15 rounds are. Like they're,
You know,
I don't know. Gun nuts will tell you like, oh, they're not any, more dangerous than any other gun. It's like, no.
I've kind of always been in that camp that you could do just as much damage with a pistol. But after the Chicago one, I started thinking, maybe more than the damage, it's the glamorization that these kids want to go play commando.
Right.
And the only way you can't do that with a pistol. You need to have that rifle. And so whether it's more dangerous or not is irrelevant. I think it's more that that's the gun they want to use. That's the
Right.
So maybe removing them from the equation would tamper down a few people.
I think it's both for sure. I mean, some of the interviews? So we've heard it at every shooting, but the discourse has gotten quite a bit louder with Uvalde and with Highland Park about what these guns do to bodies.
Right.
And it's terrible.
Right.
Terrible things.
Right.
So it's a bit different if someone's on the top of a roof with a 9mm.
Yeah.
Even if it's converted to a rifle, right?
That would be pretty cool.
It's not going to do. It's clearly not doing as much damage.
Right.
That these are gunshot wounds that maybe someone could even survive, whereas a well-placed AR-15 round or whatever gun this guy used in Highland, it was quote unquote high-powered. Even though the gun nuts will go off about me using that language. These were one of the doctors they interviewed said that these were like evisceration style wounds.
Right.
Like there's no saving the person.
Right.
Like they're half of their head is missing. That kind of thing. So
that is something that I've heard talked about more and more in the news is how as graphic as they get, they tell us there's still a lot they don't tell us.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that maybe if they did,
there's been a lot of calls.
We would be like, wow.
I've seen more calls lately about release the pictures of the victims, and maybe that'll get people to actually do something. I don't disagree. I wouldn't want to see them, but I'm already opposed to guns.
You know.
So I know what they can do, but it would be horrifying pictures to see, and it might change people. Speaking of guns, did you hear about this guy in Japan?
Yeah, I don't really want to hear about gun violence in other countries because I feel like it just gives ammunition to the.
It's true.
Like, it does happen in other countries, so it happens like every couple years,
with
not
a homemade
every month.
gun. Yeah, I mean, very little.
It was a homemade gun.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The ex-prime minister of Japan was assassinated 2 days ago by a man who had a homemade gun.
Totally like a movie story too, like during a speech.
During a speech he was giving for a campaign. He wasn't running, but he
would
was.
Do that to Putin.
Yeah, they showed a really quick glimpse picture, like a still shot of it. I can't tell what's going on, but you see him shoot it, and it's like a black powder rifle. It's insane.
A musket.
Yeah, and he fires 2 shots and kills the prime minister, ex-prime minister. So
do we know why?
The police won't release exactly what the guy's talking about, but he was very calm, and they said that the perpetrator believed the prime minister was part of a group. But the police won't say what group.
A cabal.
Yeah.
That he was eating children
probably,
and taking their powers.
Probably a pedophile ring.
That he was going to a pizza place in Seattle directly after there to.
Yeah, so the police haven't said, and they probably won't in Japan. It's obviously a little bit different.
I don't know what their gun laws are, but I'm to understand that they're very strict.
Very strict, which speaks to the level of security that they had there. So they had security, right? But not the same kind we have here because
It probably was just a 3D printed gun. You can.
it
That's the
looked
thing.
honestly, it looked like two barrels that were like 8 inches long, wrapped together with electrical tape. That's what the still shot looked like.
Huh.
But that's as much as I've seen. I haven't checked today to see if there's any more pictures. But it's pretty crazy. This guy just kind of walked up to the back of the podium where, not really podium, back of the stage area,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of he fired 2 shots for some reason, but it was insane. Huge plume of smoke, like it's really weird. But
I'll have to check that out.
yeah.
All right, we're gonna take a break.
Yep.
When we come back, we'll run through random headlines, and
And that'll be it.
I think Brian's right. I might be getting tired.
Yeah, I think
You know,
you're a little tired.
I have been going to bed early and waking up early. Not really by choice. It's just kind of
Well,
what I've been doing.
it's 11 o'clock, so you're probably
And
tired.
I have been in bed by 11 normally as of late. So that could be what's going on. So when we come back, we're going to do random headlines the way I've been doing it lately, just by going through these random stories at random.
At random.
So random headlines when we come back.
Hello. We are back.
Back.
Hey, by the way, you can come see Rejected Takeoff play at the
That's what I was going to say.
Boardwalk in Orem.
We're going back to the Boardwalk in Orem on August 12th.
August 12th.
We are either playing second or third. I'm not quite sure.
I looked at the flyer again. I think it's second.
You-
No, I think it's third.
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm pretty sure
I think
it's third.
third.
That's my guess. But last time that we were told first, and we were third or something, or
Right.
second. Anyway,
So be there.
for those of you that didn't come
7
last
o'clock-ish.
time, Danny, Jake, Jerry, Sandy,
Dan,
Dick,
Brian,
Rick Dickerson.
Sally,
I already said so. Remember
Oh.
where Sal,
Ann?
our mutual friend Sally,
Ann,
and Murray,
Bev.
John Peckerhead. You know,
Yeah.
all those guys.
gotta come this time.
You need to come.
Yeah.
And also, recently, you know, it's kind of far out, but we recently found out we're going to be playing a Halloween show in October on the 29th
Mm-hmm.
at the same venue with Off Center again.
Mm-hmm.
And they have told us that it is a costume party.
I will
So-
be in the nude.
Give us your suggestions. I've already recommended that our drummer Ethan wear Borat's
I
bathing
will-
suit.
I will have a T-shirt on still, but the rest I'll be nude besides a T-shirt.
Well, that's hardly. Well, you get the guitar low enough, it's not even
No,
gonna.
I wear my guitar high like Tom Morello.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, this first story is it's out of Japan,
Okay.
and a Japanese aquarium said it is trying to switch its penguins' diet to a cheaper kind of fish as a result of inflation. See, we're not the only country that's having problems with inflation.
Right.
So you can't blame it all on Joe.
No.
Because it's honestly not his fault. And if you would just do the teeniest bit of research, you would know that. But I digress.
Even just common sense, man.
So
They're trying to feed the penguins.
yeah, the birds aren't having it. Officials at the Hokkon Aquarium in southwest of Tokyo said they switched the penguins from their usual diet of ahi
ahi.
aka Japanese horse mackerel to a cheaper variety of mackerel after the price of ahi spiked nearly 30%. Wow, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
A video filmed at the aquarium shows the penguins stubbornly refusing to accept offerings of the cheaper fish from the keepers.
I see they said they sense something is off. Yeah, with their taste.
Yeah.
You mean? Tastes like shit.
You know what I don't understand about really most animals? Almost all animals don't really chew. They just
go.
like, especially birds, like penguins and seagulls. They just
Right. It's
like,
true.
where are they even tasting it?
Yeah.
But yet they do stuff like this all the time. Aquarium workers said the penguins will begrudgingly eat the cheaper fish if it's mixed with some ahi. Ideally, they would like to have a full ahi, but they are patiently eating mackerel.
Well, maybe we just shouldn't have them locked up. You know?
Well, then they wouldn't have anything to eat. They wouldn't be able. They'd have to hunt their own ahi.
Look at this other quote. The animals can seemingly tell the difference from smell alone. Yeah.
That's kind
they
of
have
interesting.
they have a sniffer
They're-
just like we do.
But fish smell like fish.
No.
Have you?
You can smell the differences in fish.
No, you can't.
Sure.
We can't. There's no freaking way,
You
man.
can't.
It's just this smells like fish. This smells like ocean fish because it's salty. They could raise the admission fee to fix the problem, but we would like to do our best to keep our facility comfortable. You know what? I'm going to go to Tokyo next weekend and
It's not about the birds.
and go see the birds and pay a little extra.
They're making it sound like they weren't turning a profit at all before, though. You know?
Right.
There's ups and downs here, people.
Right.
There's ups and downs.
Right. Let's see. Firefighters. No, I don't want to read that. That one's stupid. There's so many stories about lost. Every time there's a story about a lost diamond ring, I could, on this particular website I use, every time I could give you a Guinness Book of
Right.
World Records. I
Right.
could give you someone finding a diamond ring, and I can give you someone winning the lottery by chance. Those stories are all here
Wait, isn't
today.
winning the lottery always by chance?
Well, it's always something like this one. Gut feeling leads to purchase of $1 million lottery ticket in North Carolina.
That's because they interviewed him.
You
He's
know,
like,
I
just
had a gut.
feeling.
I was in Wyoming, and I had a gut feeling to go
Right.
buy a Mega Millions ticket, and guess what?
Didn't win.
I didn't win a darn thing. I got one number right.
If you were to do the statistics on whether or not gut feeling in the lottery played a role,
Yeah.
I think you'd be disappointed.
I think you'd find that, yeah.
That it's like 99.9% of the time your gut feeling.
I
is-
don't understand why I didn't win. I had a gut feeling. What the hell?
Yeah.
You wonder how many messages and letters the lottery fields every
Right.
year. Oh, it's another one that said they had a gut feeling and they didn't win. Write them our form letter.
Right.
Dear Jonathan
Please
Pecker
buy.
Dong.
The only advice I can give you is to buy another ticket. Use your gut.
All right. An Italian man has amassed a collection of cancer. I'm sorry. I don't know. It's late. An Italian man has amassed a collection of 12,402 different Pepsi cans.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know they had that many different.
When asked why, he said he asked for Coke, but they said, is Pepsi okay? The Italian owner of the world's largest collection of Pepsi cans, Pepsi, broke his own Guinness World Record.
Oh, brother.
Oh, man. See, I didn't even mean to do a Guinness Book of World Records, but here it is. When his current total was verified as including 12,402 different cans.
You think that Pepsi heard this? Like, we have 12,000 different fucking
12,000
cans? How about we consolidate our brand?
Whatever. Have you not been to Maverick? There's like 12,000 different kinds in there right now.
That's true.
There's Pepsi, Pepsi Free, Pepsi Cherry, Pepsi Diet Pepsi, Cherry Pepsi, Vanilla Pepsi, Diet Vanilla, Caffeine Free.
Diet.
There's already like 30.
He's even got his Pepsi shirt on, man. He better be getting paid for this.
Pepsi is gross in comparison to Diet Coke.
I'd rather have Pepsi than Coke.
Whatever. You're just saying
No,
that.
I'm dead serious.
Well, you can go.
I'm not saying that I could do the Pepsi challenge.
Oh!
I'm just saying
Wait, what is the Pepsi challenge?
it's where they poured blind Pepsi and Coke.
Oh, you couldn't tell the difference?
Most people couldn't. Do you not remember
No.
this whole ad
How
campaign?
could you not tell the difference?
They
It's
didn't-
such a huge difference.
I know it's a fucking big difference. They asked people which one was their favorite, and people would obviously think that it was Coke, but then they would choose Pepsi. This was a whole campaign.
Yeah, I don't remember, but
That's why it's
was
called
that
the Pepsi
before or
challenge.
after they were slipped $100 to say the right answer?
No, you would do it live. They were everywhere, man. It's in the early 2000s. You go like to a bowling alley.
Oh,
and
this
they're-
Coke tastes terrible.
You'd go to a,
they shouldn't have put salt water inside the Coke.
you'd go to like a bowling alley, and there'd be a guy there, and he would pour you two And you'd taste them, and you'd say, which one do you like
This
better?
is actually the original Coke recipe.
Right.
Can you taste the cocaine?
Because it was Pepsi gambled on the taste of their product, and they won.
You remember Clear Pepsi?
Yeah, for sure. Who doesn't remember Crystal
I'm
Pepsi?
pretty sure Crystal. I'm pretty sure all sodas could be Crystal because they add coloring to make it
Oh, for sure.
brown,
Yeah, it's too weird. It's too weird to drink something that tastes like a cola.
but it have it be. That's why
Doesn't
Crystal
look
Pepsi
like
didn't.
a cola.
I remember getting a bottle for free when I was like 8 or
Yeah.
something. The oldest dates of the cans from 1948.
Interesting.
Did Pepsi ever have cocaine in it?
No, it had pepper.
Pepsicane? Oxycontin?
You take Coke to get up, Pepsi to take down.
Let's see here.
I had a wall of Mountain Dew cans.
Oh,
my
yeah, I
room.
remember that.
Yeah. Not different. I liked them all the same, facing the exact same direction.
Man, these stories all suck.
Just give me one more random one. Just gotta be
All
random.
right, here we go.
So doesn't have to be-
International Bikini Day celebrates skimpy bathing suits since 1964. It's when they debuted. Debuted?
You know what? We've done 130 episodes. This isn't the first time that you've had a problem with that word.
Debut?
Debut.
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 It's actually debut.
Debut. Since the debuted.
This is definitely not the first time.
Why are you looking at porn on
I'm bored with this story, so I looked at some porn.
International Bikini Day, celebrated annually on July 5th, which is something I totally knew,
I totally knew that.
marks the anniversary of the day French designer Louis. I'm tired because
Is it Louis Vuitton?
no, it's it's a Reard, REARD, but my brain put a T in it.
You are very tired. You are very tired right now.
Louis Reard debuted his two-piece bathing suit.
What year?
1946.
Oh, interesting.
The holiday celebrates the anniversary of the bikini first being sold to the public in 1946. The bathing suit takes its name from Bikini Atoll, the coral reef in the Marshall Islands, where the United States began testing nuclear weapons 4 days before the bathing suit's debut.
Shut up. That's really in the description. Here it is right here. First bikini, 1946.
She's hot.
And she's drinking a Pepsi, if you look close enough.
Is she?
No, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Jacques Hem, another French designer, released a two-piece bathing suit dubbed the Atom in 1932, but Reard's bathing suit was considerably smaller and more closely resembles the modern bikini, which a lot of people may not know this, which closely resembles just regular underwear.
Not back then, though.
Oh, I guess not.
Yeah, that's interesting. So bikini-style underwear were invented after.
Do we know that?
I
don't know.
Postulating.
All right.
When
Both styles of swimwear were considered controversial and were banned in many places for years.
Look at that, just like the burkini.
Yeah.
Banned.
The two-piece bathing suit was later popularized by celebrities. I've never known celebrities to make things popular. Brigitte Bardot and Marilyn Monroe in the 60s. Other holidays and observances for July 5th include Mechanical Pencil Day, National Apple Turnover Day, National Graham Cracker Day, National Workaholics Day, and Work Without Your Hands Day,
right.
which a lot of people might not know. For people with without hands,
That's every
day.
I just Googled when was bikini underwear invented, and Google pulled me this result. The 1960s saw the development of matching bra and brief sets, disposable paper panties, and the bikini brief. In the 1990s, a new fashion for thong underwear became popular. Disposable paper panties.
Why is that for when you? Why would you need that?
Disposable paper panties?
And why?
I'm assuming it's for like when they're maybe when a woman's on their period, maybe. Because the tampon wasn't invented till it was like 2002. The tampon took forever.
Now I'm not very smart, but I know that's not true.
It's just later than you think. Like women's hygiene products were just shit on. Like it. Yeah. When was tampon?
What was it? A wrapped up sheet before then?
Yeah, for real. 1931. Menstrual tampons and feminine hygiene devices, usually made from absorbent cotton, that are temporarily inserted into the vagina for absorbing a
but
woman's
pads were probably around before the tampons.
blood. Sure. But it was probably just like a disposable, like wrap that up, and leave it in the bottom of your disposable paper underwear. I don't know. I'm not a woman, but I'm trying to think why else you would want disposable.
Do you have a spare disposable underwear?
Does we look disposable paper panties? Let's see if I can find what the purpose was here.
Who invented menstrual pads? Well, it says here there are records of feminine hygiene that date back to the early Egyptian times. Now, we know that would have been created by aliens,
Well, the
but
Egyptians were super
women
liberal.
use rudimentary materials for protection like rags, sheep's wool, cotton, and even live rabbits.
That was awesome. That was a good one, man. That one got me. I looked over at you so fast. Oh, it had to have been. It has to be for periods. I don't know. I can't find anything, but that has to be. I don't know why else you'd want paper panties.
I don't know. The sound?
Well, you want paper?
Oh, you hear that? She's wearing paper panties. That's hot.
Can you imagine wearing like paper briefs? Oh, it would
No, you would chafe.
That'll just hurt.
We should try it for a day.
No, I'm good.
Let's make one.
The paper.
Let's
we'll
make
call
some
it
construction paper.
crepe. I prefer creepy paper. Crepe paper.
Use tissue paper so that it's
Oh,
extra
man.
breezy.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's called the Paper Brief Challenge. And the paper manufacturers, you would stay at bowling alleys and try and get you to see which one was which.
Did it just break when you sat down? It just
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I don't get it.
There's no flex.
I don't get it.
There's no flex.
Anyway, it's late.
Oh.
Let's call it.
Was that 3 stories?
Yep.
Or are you just saying that?
No, you're done. You're done.
All right.
Thanks for being here, everybody. Remember, you can get your Shitballs and Fuck SBNF hat or shirt at thearcticpodcast.com right now.
You can also get your BNSF hats, the Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad, at their website or on eBay.
BNSF.RR.
And a lot of people may not know this, but there used to be a railroad called Burlington Northern and one named Santa Fe Railroad, and they merged and created BNSF.
Why are you talking about this? Where?
Well, it's the same letters. I thought it was a train.
Like you're an aviation buff. Where do the railroads come?
I don't know. Who doesn't love trains?
I love trains, but I don't know all the railroads. That's weird. Anyway.
BNSF.
Find us at The Arctic Pod on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, or thearcticpodcast.com for episode 130. I'm Brian.
I'm Spencer. See you next time.